So, Lima, good afternoon once again. Sorry, I had a call because I'm using my phone for hotspot at the moment.
Okay.
So I was saying that the reason why this class is very essential is because I want you to have best some of the best stocks that you can invest in, because I assume that you want to do this for a long term, right?
Yes, ma.
Good. So I've analyzed some of these best stocks for you to invest in, and I want you to some of them, I have some of these stocks in my portfolio. Some I'm planning to have them in my portfolio, but let's get right on to it. So, best Nigerian stocks for long-term investment. That's what I titled it. This is a strategic selection of Nigerian stocks for 5 to 15-year wealth creation. Now, remember in one of our classes where we talked about investing for long term, I told you that when you are choosing a company to invest in for long term, you have to look at the present existence and the past existence of that company. Is this company viable, or is this company going to be in existence for a long time? And how do you judge a company that can be in existence for a long time? What did I say you should do when you want to know if a company if it's going to last for long? What did I say we should do? Can you remind me?
Uh, um, Let me try to remember.
Okay, let's not waste time. I said, first of all, you look at the books. That's the financial analysis of the analysis of that company every year, the financial statement of the company every year. Number two, you look at how has the company grown over time. Three, you look at policies that surround or that is controlling that company. There's government policies, internal policies, regulatory bodies that are regulating the activities of that company. Number four, you look at capitalization policy of that company. So if if you are looking at that company and that company does not have favorable policies that can keep that company running for years, it might not be the best of companies to invest in. Do you understand? Now, from
Yes,
my personal interaction with the stock exchange market over time, I have selected 7 companies that I know that we've discussed in our classes. Some of these companies are in agriculture, some are in telecommunication, some are in banking, some are in food processing, and a lot of them. So let's quickly jump into them. The first stock on my list is Zenith Bank. So why am I choosing Zenith Bank? One, consistent profitability. Over time, the price of Zenith Bank has risen over time as a result of the capital gain of the price of the stock of the company. So Zenith Bank started with as low as 20 naira, and today Zenith Bank is trading at over 100 naira, which is like over 125% increment in the price of that shares of the stock itself. So strong dividend history. Zenith Bank is one of the banks that pay dividends to customers. In fact, Zenith Bank is the #1 bank in Nigeria that actually treats dividends as a core. They don't joke with paying of dividends to their customers. Now, three, benefit from banking recapitalization. For their onshore accounts, for their onshore trading company, Zenith Bank has a total of over 500 million as recapitalization price. So that's the cost of them being in business. So they have like 500 million tucked away with CBN. Do you understand? So those kind of companies that have like that kind of money, it is going to be very difficult for such a company to hold up. For their operating a company in Nigeria, they have 300 million naira as per capital as recapitalization. That's the money that is kept away with CBN. Do you understand?
yes,
So that's one of the reasons why it is #1 on my list for banking stock. #2 on my list is GTCO Holdings PLC. Now, GTCO has shown us what we call excellent dividend yield. I think last year they paid as much as 11 naira per share for all shareholders. So that means that bank has made a lot of money. You get, they have their mechanisms for generating wealth, internal wealth, which has actually affected or increased the cost of the share of that company. So it's a very perfect company to invest in. If you want to start an investment journey, make sure one of these two banks are in your portfolio. Either Zenith or GTCO is in your portfolio. The number two is strong digital banking enterprise. When you talk about digital banking in Nigeria, GTCO is number one on the list, that has the best online trading app or the best online service. Do you understand? They have the best in Nigeria. Then they have diversified revenue streams. GTCO holdings make money from everywhere. They make money from collaboration. You know, they do this food, this thing with where they come together, they bring one of the best chefs in the world to actually participate in competition and all those things. They also do art fairs. They do education. You know, they are almost
into. They do runway.
You said they do runway. Thank you. They do runway. You see all those things that they are doing is they're actually using it to source for resources. They are not doing it to just be doing paparazzi. They are using it to actually grow the wealth of that company. So when you want to invest in the company, that's why I said you have to look at how innovative is this company. So if the company is not innovative, well, I'm not putting my money there. Do you understand? So they have diversified revenue streams. They have tentacles in almost all the sectors in Nigeria, from oil to food processing to fashion industry to art to music. They even organize music fiestas during the Yuletide season. Do you understand? They organize music fiestas. So those are avenues for them to generate multiple streams of income. And I believe that as a business owner, you must be thinking like that. One way does not lead to the market. So you must make sure that you are leaving nothing on the table. And this is what GTB has done. They have endeavored that they are not leaving any food crumbs on the table at all. They are making sure that every avenue to make wealth, they are using it up. Do you understand?
Yes. They don't pay dividends.
You said?
Do they pay dividends?
Yes, they pay dividends. Excellent. That's number one on the list. They pay dividends. All the companies that I have here pay dividends. I am not putting any company that I said I did not put here is because I'm skeptical of, not because they are not doing so well, but these are the ones that I have studied their trail. I have observed their trail over time, and I've seen that these are very excellent companies to actually invest in. Now, number three on my list is Dangote Cement PLC. Why Dangote Cement? One, because Dangote has a monopoly. You get? Dangote has a monopoly that actually makes it one of the top cement manufacturing company in Africa, especially in Nigeria. Do you understand? So that monopoly actually makes Dangote like one of the biggest companies that you should even be thinking about investing in Dangote Cement because of these attributes. Now, Pan-African operations. Dangote has offices in all the countries in Africa. All the countries in Africa, they have offices anywhere you want to go. Mozambique, Namibia, Ghana, South Africa, they have offices everywhere. And they have an infrastructural growth play. What does that mean? Dangote has one of the finest and the best infrastructures when it comes to cement production in Africa. So Dangote cement industry, when you talk about the cement industry, the number one person that will come to your mind is what? It's Dangote. Before you now begin to talk of Bua, before you now begin to talk of any other one that you have heard of. But number one is Dangote. Are you with me? Now, MTN Nigeria for telecommunication. Why did I choose MTN Nigeria? There's nobody in Nigeria that does not have an MTN SIM. It is very hard before you see somebody who is not using MTN SIM as their number one, as their SIM one or their choice of their choice for SIM and data subscription. Do you get? Hardly will you see somebody who does not have MTN in one of its SIMs inside their phones. So MTN Nigeria, because they have massive subscriber base and they have infinite growth in data and fintech services. I mean, nobody beats them in the whole of Africa. Nobody. Because MTN actually has a special package for people who are in that industry. You get, MTN has a special package for people who are in that industry. So it kind of breed a digital economic growth for MTN and Nigeria at large. Then I want to talk about Seplat. Why Seplat? Seplat is the only oil company that pays dividends quarterly. Do you understand? Seplat is the only company that pays dividends every quarter. Then you have dollar-linked earnings. People abroad can actually invest in Seplat. And in fact, investing in Seplat is like investing in the US stock market. It's like investing in NASDAQ, because the growth rate, the dividends earnings, they are so unprecedented. I mean, you can't compare it with any company in Nigeria. You can't compare it with any other company in Nigeria. Then we have strong cash generation. So as a result of an influx of people into the company, you see that they are able to actually generate a lot of cash. And what is that thing? What leads to a growth in a stock price? Why? One thing that leads to growth in stock price is when there is massive movement of cash between the stock market and that stock. So that's movement of cash between investors and the market, especially when people are trooping into that stock. Once you have something like that, the price of that stock will go up. So Seplat has that advantage, and that's why you should also be looking at it. So let's go to Presco PLC. Why Presco? One, palm oil demand growth. Presco not only manufactures for Nigeria, Presco sells to all the countries in Africa. Do you understand? They not only sell palm oil, they sell the shaft, they manufacture they export the shaft to many countries in Africa. They use the shaft from that from the palm oil to actually do, some of them use it to do road. The kernel, you know that kernel?
Yes.
Yes, that's the byproduct or the end product or the waste product. They use that waste product to make kernels, and that kernels, some people use it for road. Strong profit expansion. Now, Presco has grown over time, and they pay massive profit every year. They pay massive profit every year. Then their dividends is consistent. Twice in a year, comes in twice in a year. Presco dividends comes in twice a year, comes in every six months. Do you understand? So that's one of the best places to invest. After Presco, we now have Okomu Oil PLC. Okomu Oil PLC have strong pricing power. Do you understand? They have strong pricing power. The pricing power that they have is the fact that their pricing, let me show you from this chart.
Yes.
Can you see it? Now, I know you're thinking, the price fell. Don't look at it like this. Oh, this thing, as it's coming down like this, it will still come down more. It will come as low as 1,200. Then it will hit TP. These are very good markets to actually invest in. But since we don't have the money to do this one, let's stick to the other ones that we discussed earlier. Do you get? Let's stick to those ones. Those ones are actually, they are still okay. So Okomu oil palm, very okay. Now, if I was to invest, this is how I would do my investment. I will either choose Zenith or GTCO. I will not take the two. Is that I will invest in Zenith or I invest in GTCO?
Mm.
But definitely I will invest in Dangote Cement, Seplat, and MTN. Do you get?
I think I would choose this GTCO. I don't
Yes.
know.
Take GTCO. Take GTCO. GTCO is 120. Let me check. I just bought another one. I just bought more today. I added to what I had before. So if I was to invest, this is how I would actually do mine. You understand? Now, in conclusion,
Okay.
diversified exposure to when you are doing your what do you call it now? When you want to build your portfolio, make sure you have the following like banking, telecommunication, energy, infrastructure, and agriculture in your what do you call it now? You must have
Portfolio.
all this, the following in your
Portfolio.
portfolio. Yes, you must have this in your portfolio because this is where the money in the 21st century is going into. Banking, everybody must do banking stuffs. Telecommunication, everybody must buy data. Energy, everybody must buy oil, CNG, gas, infrastructure, they must build roads, they must do cement. Do you understand?
What
Then agriculture,
about consumer?
eh?
What about consumer goods?
Yes, I will still do consumer goods company and I will still let you know. But this is what I've taken because I actually took my time to actually do this. So when I do the consumer goods,
Okay.
I will still let you know. Do you get? Then we still have service producing, we have service generation and production companies. So this is it for
Okay, ma.
today's class. So any question for me?
If we are talking about dividend, sometimes I used to see where some company they'll say they pay dividend of very little amounts. Like I used to ask myself, like, like if you don't invest a lot of money, how will that money comes out? Like, how do they do it? If they pay you dividends of let's say 15 naira.
Now that's where compounding, like I said, come in. Because the more the shares you have, the higher your dividends you'll be getting. Now, how do companies now
Okay.
generate dividends? They generate dividends through profits. So the company will come out at the end of the quarter or at the end of the year and declare profit of the profit of everything that they have accumulated during the time of trading. As they are trading, they are making profit, right? So they will come out and tell you, okay, this is the
Yes.
profit I've made. So when they now tell you this is the profit I've made, they will now take that profit and now split it among all the shareholders. So let's say they take like 2 billion naira profit, and then all the share, according to the shares, like they will say, okay, per dividend, we want to be paying 25 naira per dividend. And then there's somebody who has like 1,000 shares. Then another person has like 2,000 shares. Another person has like 5,000 shares. And whereas another person has like 100 shares. So you will multiply that dividend times the number of shares you have.
Okay. Okay.
That's why some people's own are plenty, some people's own are small. The reason why it's like that is because the people that their own is much or more is because they have more shares. Maybe they have like 2,000, 3,000, 10,000, 15,000, 50,000 shares. And whereas people like maybe me and you now, me, I have like 1,000, or another person has like 500. So the higher the shares, the higher the dividends should be paid. Does that
Okay.
answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have any other question? Because our time is almost running out.
No, no, ma'am.
Okay, I would
Just